Let's get into it. Mystery number 9. The raining fish. Imagine you're walking outside, and suddenly, fish start falling from the sky. This bizarre phenomenon, known as raining animals, has been reported for centuries. The most accepted explanation involves waterspouts, tornado-like columns of air that form over water. The strong winds and low pressure of a waterspout can lift small aquatic animals like fish and frogs out of the water. They are then carried for miles by the storm, only to be dropped over land when the wind loses its power. Mystery number 8. The everlasting candle. In a small town in Pennsylvania, a candle is said to have been burning since the 1800s, never going out. Local legend says it's a miracle, a symbol of eternal life. As fascinating as the miracle story is, geologists have a much simpler explanation. It turns out the candle sits on top of a natural gas deposit. The gas seeps through the ground, and a small, continuous flame is the result. While it's not a miracle, it's still an incredible reminder of the powerful forces hidden just beneath our feet. Mystery number 7. Fairy circles. In the dry grasslands of Namibia, thousands of circular patches of barren ground are scattered across the landscape. These fairy circles have long been the source of local myths, with some believing they are footprints left by gods. Science has presented two leading theories. The most popular suggests that the circles are the work of sand termites. The termites clear the vegetation in a circular pattern to create a large, empty area that collects precious rainwater, which then helps the grass around the edge to grow even stronger. A second theory suggests the circles are a form of plant competition, where plants battle for limited water, creating a stunning, patterned landscape. Mystery number 6. Ball lightning. For centuries, sailors reported seeing glowing orbs of electricity floating in the air during thunderstorms. It's a terrifying sight. A bright ball of light, sometimes the size of a grapefruit, just hovering in the sky. Was it a freak electrical charge? A ghost? For a long time, the existence of ball lightning was debated, but now it's widely accepted as a real phenomenon. One of the leading theories suggests that when a lightning bolt strikes the ground, it can create a cloud of silicon particles. These particles then get superheated and form a glowing orb as they react with oxygen. So it's not a ghost, but a small, glowing cloud of rock vapor. Mystery number 5. The disappearing lake. In Siberia, there's a lake known as the disappearing lake. One day it's there, full of water, and the next, it's gone, as if it just drained away. Local folklore suggested it was a vengeful spirit, or maybe an underground monster. Geologists eventually discovered the truth. The lake sits on a layer of porous limestone. Over time, water seeps through the cracks and creates large caverns underneath. When the pressure changes just right, the lake can suddenly drain into one of these underground caves, only to reappear later when the groundwater rises again. Mystery number 4. Bioluminescent waves. Imagine standing on a beach at night and watching the waves glow with a mystical blue light. For centuries, sailors and coastal dwellers had no idea what caused these sea of stars to appear. Some believed it was a magical phenomenon or spirits. We now know that this stunning display is caused by millions of microscopic organisms called phytoplankton. When the water is disturbed by a wave breaking or a boat moving through it, these tiny creatures create a chemical reaction that makes them glow. So the next time you see a glowing wave, remember, it's not magic, but a beautiful biological light show. Mystery number 3. The Taos hum. Have you ever heard a sound that no one else can? For decades, some residents of Taos, New Mexico, complained of a low, persistent humming sound. It was heard by only a small percentage of the population and had no clear source. Was it a secret government experiment? A strange geological phenomenon? Scientists finally pinned it down to 2 likely causes. First, there's the possibility of industrial noise traveling in a way that's hard to detect. But a more interesting theory points to our own ears. It turns out, some people's ears produce their own tiny internal sounds called otoacoustic emissions. For these individuals, the Taos hum might not be coming from the outside world at all, but from inside their own heads. Mystery number 2, the world's longest waves. Next, let's head to the coast of Peru, where surfers can ride what's possibly the world's longest wave. Imagine riding a single wave for over 1.5 miles. But why does this happen in this specific spot, in a town called Chicama? For a long time, people thought it was just a local quirk. The answer lies thousands of miles away in the Pacific Ocean, in massive storms. These storms generate waves that travel for days across the open water. But the magic happens when they reach the coast of Peru. The coastline here is perfectly shaped, and the deep ocean floor rises in just the right way, acting like a natural ramp. This bends and focuses the waves, causing them to break progressively along a long stretch of the shoreline. The waves arriving from the ocean roll nearly parallel to the coast, allowing them to peel for incredible distances. It's a natural masterpiece of oceanography, shaped by distant weather and a unique coastline. Mystery number 1, the sailing stones of Death Valley. For years, people had all sorts of wild theories about the sailing stones. Were they moved by ghosts, strong winds, aliens? The rocks on a dry lakebed called Racetrack Playa left clear tracks in the mud, but no human had ever seen them in motion. The mystery was so persistent that scientists placed GPS trackers on some of the rocks to figure it out. What they discovered was both incredible and surprisingly simple. It turns out you need 3 things for this to happen: a little bit of rain, a night cold enough for the water to freeze, and a little bit of wind. When the desert floor gets wet, it forms a shallow, slick pond. When it freezes overnight, it creates a large, thin sheet of ice. As the sun rises and the ice begins to melt, a gentle breeze is enough to push these big, heavy sheets of ice. And as the ice moves, it shoves the rocks along with it, leaving those famous trails. The mystery wasn't about some supernatural force. It was a simple combination of physics, ice, and wind. These 9 natural mysteries prove that even the most bizarre phenomena have logical, scientific explanations. What do viewers think? Did science make these events more or less fascinating? The audience is invited to comment below. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to avoid missing the next video.